American authorities recently revealed the secret to longevity: 6 food combinations that can boost up the ante. This list of longevity foods is amazing. Fish are only ranked 3rd. And the first place is a complete break from the norm. Is this official news or carefully crafted news? Head of school, we take you through a vivid documentary-style narrative. Let's find out together the secrets behind every long-lived food. Story. What is the proportion of genes responsible for human longevity? The Danish twin study, only about 20% of human lifespan is determined by genes. About 80% is determined by lifestyle. In other words, you want to live longer. It's not mysterious magic. It's about how you dress and how you live, especially the recipes on the table. According to official US data, healthy eating patterns can lead to a longer life. This directly confirms the importance of lifestyle. Therefore, the CDC and the nutrition community constantly advocating eating more fruit, vegetable whole grains, beans, nuts, and fish. Minimize exposure to refined grains and processed meats. Therefore, an official blend of longevity foods finally surfaced. Here we will reveal these 6 major foods one by one. Each comes with a scientific basis, typical eating methods and fresh cases. Show you the dramatic but true path to longevity. The 6th cheekbone, the health code in coarse grains. Imagine this scene. In the early morning kitchen, families sitting around the table. Large bowl of hot oatmeal and purple rice porridge. The aroma overflows. It's grains. Brown rice, sweet potato porridge, and whole wheat bread. Such a breakfast. It's standard for whole grains lovers. Whole grains including brown rice, oat wheat germ, buckwheat corn, etc. They kept the puff pastry and the germ. Rich in dietary fiber, B vitamins and minerals. These nutrients help to regulate blood sugar, promote intestinal peristalsis, preventing obesity and cardiovascular disease. Scientific research has repeatedly proven that get enough whole grains can significantly reduce all-cause mortality. For example, the number of nutrition studies points out that high intake of whole grains, vegetables and fruits, nuts and coffee, associated with a lower risk of all-cause mortality. This means that whole grains are often eaten as a staple food. Lifespan is more likely to be extended. The New York Times and authoritative nutrition research also reported, compared to white bread, whole wheat bread, eaters of oats and brown rice, lower risk of diabetes and heart disease. Renowned full-life model study simulation shows increase whole grain intake is one of the key ways to extend life. The charm of whole grains lies in their variety. Chinese people are used to eating oatmeal or multigrain porridge for breakfast, have brown rice or brown rice stir-fry for lunch. And Westerners have whole wheat bread sandwiches, or breakfast cereal, whole grain cereal. Baking enthusiast, they'll even make buns or bread with whole wheat flour. Whole grain meals several times a week. Dietary fiber and nutrients can be consumed. Fully satisfied. Food media and nutrition expert advice. At least 1 meal a day. Replace delicate rice noodles with whole grains. For example, replace it with oats, polenta, or coarse grain steamed buns. This not only tastes multi-layered, it's also good for cardiovascular and metabolic health. Science supports a diet for 2017. Lifetime model studies show that, after adjusting the typical Western diet to the optimal diet, the average lifespan of young people can increase by more than 10 years, of which whole grains. The increase in beans and nuts has the greatest impact on life extension. Simply put, it is to eat more whole grains can give you a chance of rejuvenation. The authoritative palm tree further states that Mediterranean-style rich in cheekbones, or a high-quality diet, is closely associated with lower mortality rates. Real case Lanzhou District longevity area. The long-lived elderly typically rely on whole grains. Like the old man from Sardinia, whole wheat bread is a must for lunch. A bowl of oatmeal for breakfast in Greek Icaria. They're all whole grain-based recipes. In Loma Linda, California, USA, the diet of centenarians. It is eaten strictly according to plant-based principles. Their breakfast is often oatmeal with nuts. For lunch, we have whole wheat bread or multigrain rice. Actually, the biblical diet of Loma Linda believers emphasize whole grains, and they were eating whole wheat bread. A vegan diet based on oats and whole grains. These strengths tell us, incorporate whole grains into your daily routine. It adds points to health virtually. Core nutrients, dietary fiber, vitamin B, family enzymes, etc. help stabilize blood sugar and promote gut health. Benefits of regular consumption of whole grains can reduce the risk of chronic diseases, such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease. Typical breakfast oatmeal. Whole wheat bread, brown rice. Whole grain noodles are also available. Glutinous rice, brown rice flour, and other changes. 5th place vegetable. and the fresh longevity power of all things fruit. When I say the secret to longevity is actually hidden in green vegetables, you might be surprised. Leafy carrot. Bell peppers don't look inconspicuous. How to get on the list. But scientific data and dietary habits in long-lived regions all gave affirmative answers. Vegetables and fruits provide a wealth of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It protects cells from damage. It is the natural patron saint of longevity. As early as mentioned in the official report, healthy eating patterns should emphasize fruits and vegetables. Nutrition experts say, guaranteed half a plate of various vegetables for each main meal, plus a serving of fruit. It is the simplest and most effective longevity diet. The study found that people with a high intake of vegetables and fruits significantly reduced risk of all-cause mortality. For example, the elderly in Okinawa, Japan love to eat sweet potatoes, carrots, and green vegetables. This provides enough antioxidants. Elderly people in Sardinia, Italy eat tomatoes. Onions and leafy vegetables maintain vascular health. And in the diet of Lanchukaria, plates with vegetables and beans for almost every meal. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control also emphasizes a balanced diet requires a diverse intake of vegetables and fruits. This not only reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, it also benefits the immune system and the intestines. Typical way to eat. All countries have traditional dishes in which vegetables are the protagonists. Chinese stir-fried spinach, garlic broccoli, Western vegetable salad, stewed vegetable soup, tomatoes in the Mediterranean diet, cucumber salad with olive oil, and fruit blueberries. Berries such as strawberries and citrus fruits. He's an antioxidant. The secret to getting enough fruits and vegetables is the rainbow diet. The more colorful fruits and vegetables you eat, the better. Like red peppers, cucumber, purple cabbage. At least 5 servings of broccoli per day. About 400 grams to ensure nutritional intake. Have a salad or stew with dinner. Add some sliced tomatoes and olive oil. It's a habit in many longevity areas. Scientific support for nutrition indicates that high vegetable, the mortality rate among fruit eaters was significantly reduced. Specific to physiological mechanisms, vitamin C in fruits and vegetables, and various phytochemicals, can inhibit chronic inflammation, scavenge free radicals, protect blood vessels and cells. This explains why in model studies, fruits and vegetables, and fish bring substantial life gains. In other words, if your table is missing vegetables, miss the opportunity to move your life forward. Real case. The famous orchid mentioned in the Danish study, the elderly in World Longevity Village eat vegetables almost every day. For example, elderly people on the Greek island of Ikaria eat 3 meals a day, all served with plenty of vegetables, even snacks or slices of fruit or vegetables. In Loma Linda, California, USA, 95-year-old surgeon, Ellsworth Wareham still eats salad every day. 105-year-old Ms. Margie must have vegetable porridge with every meal. Nutrition consultants point out that evergreen elderly people often prefer whole foods and plant-based diets. Vegetables naturally become the protagonists of the table. Core nutrients, vitamin ACK. Dietary fiber. Plant compounds such as flavonoids help fight inflammation. Antioxidant benefits. Eating more fruits and vegetables can significantly reduce cancer, heart disease, and diabetes risk. It also provides satiety, good for weight control. Typical practice in salad soup. Add more vegetables to the main course. Use fruit as a dessert or snack. Lan Q often eats tomato salad. Spinach soup is a great example of that. The 4th place nut has a small body and a lot of energy. Speaking of longevity snacks, many people will think of the nut bowl. Walnut almond. Cashew nuts. Hazelnuts, a handful of crispy nuts, a satisfying taste. Although nuts are not low in calories, but they're rich in unsaturated fatty acids. Protein fiber. Vitamin E and minerals. Nutrition experts call it a nutrition bomb. Research shows that eat nuts in moderation can significantly reduce cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases and inflammation risk. A Harvard study of the 240,000 population found people who eat at least 1 serving of nuts per week live longer than people who never eat nuts. Lower risk of death. Physiologically, monounsaturated fatty acids in nuts and omega-3 fatty acids protects the lining of blood vessels, boosts blood flow, lower bad cholesterol, rich in vitamin E. It helps to delay cellular aging. Chinese doctors emphasize that nuts are a natural reservoir of nutrients, a handful of nuts a day. It's almost synonymous with longevity. The World Health Organization also recommends eat mixed nuts at least a few times a week. Provides antioxidant and anti-inflammatory health benefits. Should be eaten typically. The easiest way to eat nuts, just eat snacks directly. But it can also be mixed into breakfast porridge. Sprinkle on salad with yogurt. Western breakfast, often Indian, sprinkle a handful of acai in wheat or yogurt, fruits and dried fruits. Enhance flavor and nutrition. In Asian cuisine, Fried chicken with peanuts and cashews is also very popular. As long as you don't add too much salt and sugar when cooking, it's a healthy meal. Many long-lived elderly people spend their afternoon tea time. We'll enjoy a small plate of nuts as a refreshing and anti-aging snack. Science-backed authoritative simulation study points out, increased nut intake is to make the typical Western diet one of the keys to better health. Model display. A 20-year-old young man just eat a small handful of extra nuts every day. About 25 grams can extend life by more than a year. In addition to that, nutritional ancestral trees also emphasize high intake of nuts is associated with a lower risk of death. In short, keep nuts as a regular food. Able to accumulate health points inadvertently. Real case. Long-lived seniors in Loma Linda, California. Many people love to eat nuts. LandQ study points out that the seventh day here, Christian Fulham Creek Day Church, likes to eat all kinds of nuts. In their breakfast cereal, must add a handful of walnuts or almonds. Afternoon snack with a small bowl of walnuts. There's another legend. 95-year-old heart surgeon Wareham. I still eat a handful of mixed nuts every day. I believe this is one of the secrets to his health. These mundane but delicious nut snacks. It's part of their longevity diet. Core nutrient monounsaturated fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids. Vitamin A, enzymes and other benefits. Helps maintain cardiovascular health. Anti-inflammatory antioxidant. It also makes you feel more full. Weight control. Typically, a small amount, about a handful per day. Eat dry or add to meals, like yogurt. Fruit cup with melon seeds and hazelnuts and salad. Fried cashew nuts, etc. Third place, deep sea fish. The complete source of high-quality protein and omega can be found here. Many people may say that fish is nutritious. Longevity experts always say to eat more fish. It certainly is. Fish has long been recognized as a healthy food, especially rich in deep-sea fish with omega-3 fatty acids, salmon, tuna, sardines, cod, etc. Both are frequent lifespan guardians in research. The Lancet report and multiple medical journals point out that people who often eat fish, the risk of heart disease and stroke is significantly reduced. This is due to the anti-inflammatory effects of EPA and DHA in fish oil. Stabilize blood pressure. Carp ranks third on our list. Explain that, although important. And then there are the more exotic longevity foods that come out on top, but it doesn't make them any less valuable. Typical way to eat. The eating habits of seaside countries are indispensable for fish. Mediterranean countries love grilled fish. Cooked fish with olive oil. The Japanese eat sashimi with soy sauce. South China loves steamed fish. Studies have shown that boiled fish soup, eat fish 2 or 3 times a week, can achieve significant health benefits. The American Heart Association recommends replace some red meat with fish. It's a great strategy for longevity. Canned tuna, canned salmon is also convenient for daily consumption, can make sandwiches or salads. Science-backed nutrition model study mentioned. Fruits, vegetables, and fish. Substantially positive impact on lifespan. That is to say, although the average person has eaten a lot of fish, but every little bit more will still generate a significant mandate gain. For example, for a 20-year-old American, add an additional 125 grams per week to your intake. The model shows that life can be extended by more than 1 year. Medical journals have also reported many times. Suitable for reducing atherosclerosis, heart attack, and even certain cancers. In other words, those unsaturated fatty acids in fish. They are indispensable nutrition heroes. Real cases, seaside residents of the blue district of the world, feeding on fish for a long time. In the daily menu of the elderly in Okinawa, Japan, that includes tuna, dried fish with grouper, etc. The inhabitants of Sardinia, Italy, also often eat grilled sea fish and fish soup. There is a true story. A Japanese fisherman is 98 years old. Eats sea fish with every meal. He laughed and said, "I exchanged kelp soup for soup." Lived to this day. Similar cases may sound legendary, but it's all about data. Communities that eat fish always have better health metrics. In the story of longevity, the people of Icaria depend on Mediterranean fish as their source. Add vegetable olive oil. The quality of life is far above average. It can be said that deep-sea fish add points to their lifespan. It is a natural savior for the 3 highs: core nutrients, high-quality protein, omega-3 fatty acid EPA. DHA vitamin D benefits reduce blood inflammation. Protect cardiovascular and cerebrovascular. It is also beneficial for brain function, can prevent Alzheimer's disease. Typical practice fish dishes 3 times a week on Tuesdays, like steamed sea bass, Western grilled salmon, Japanese sashimi, fish noodle soup, etc. Can easily replace some meat with canned fish. Second place, beans. The longevity pillar of soy plant protein. Speaking of the longevity diet, the word vegetarian often comes to mind. Blue Zone researchers point out that bean tofu and various soy products, almost all of Changshu Village's food map. And these foods are incredibly versatile. They're rich in vegetable protein, dietary fiber, and various minerals. Also low in fat, zero cholesterol. It is an ideal heart-healthy food. Scientists have discovered that eating beans and reducing cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and the risk of certain cancers are closely related. Typical way to eat beans are colorful. Chinese style with tofu and soybean soup, cold mung beans. Western style with hummus, Hamas bean soup and salad. Japanese style with natto warm soup. Many places use beans instead of some meat. Add a spoonful of soybean flour for breakfast. Have 8 treasure porridge for lunch. A plate of braised tofu for dinner. American nutrition experts recommend eat beans or soy products at least 3 to 4 times a week. Some people even maintain a nearly vegan diet for life. It relies on a variety of beans to provide high-quality protein. Science-backed modeling studies show that eating more beans can lead to significant lifespan gains. Is one of the #1 factors contributing to a healthy lifespan. For example, cutting the intake of legumes from a typical diet to 0, raised to a large cup a day. The model estimates that it can increase the lifespan of 20-year-olds by more than 1 year. And the unique low-fat and high-protein ratio of beans. It also decreases IGF-1 and inflammation levels. It is considered as one of the anti-aging mechanisms. The European Nutrition Society also specifically mentions palm trees. The daily diet emphasizes plant eggs as white as beans. It goes a long way towards prolonging lifespan. Real case Loma Linda in the South District. The Adventist community in America. Many people are used to not eating meat at all. Beans are the protein of choice. The local 100-year-old classroom often says, "Tofu is a gift from God. Let me go through the pain countless times." Changshu Village in Pingtung, Taiwan, China. Old people drink soybean soup every day. Eat dried beans. Dolores region of Costa Rica. Farmhouse breakfast must have black and green beans. These living particles. It makes beans a lifeless, healthy diet. As summarized in an American Journal of Health, the oldest living population in the world. They almost always feed on beans. See Lanq and other studies. Core nutrients, vegetable protein. Dietary fiber, vitamin B, A and enzymes, etc. Benefits low fat. No cholesterol, helps control blood pressure, low blood lipids, strong satiety. Good for weight management, typical tofu soup. Soy milk and bean stew. Mashed beans, vegetarian meat, beans, etc. For example, a serving of braised tofu for lunch, a bowl of lentil soup for dinner. Satisfy the taste buds and supplement nutrition. The first coffee. Amazing but reliable longevity, refreshing drink. Finally came the most surprising item. Coffee, maybe. Let many longevity health experts fall short of their glasses. How can delicious and refreshing coffee come first? However, multiple large-scale studies drink coffee in moderation every day, linked to life extension. USNEH. ALPPS and Harvard University found that overall mortality rate among coffee drinkers, less than people who don't drink coffee, and cardiovascular disease, diabetes and Parkinson's disease are also lower. Coffee is rich in antioxidants, caffeine, polyphenols, and other compounds. These substances may reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. It is believed to have multiple health benefits. Typical way to eat. Our ancestors may not have been familiar with coffee, but modern life depends on it. 2 cups of freshly ground black coffee a day. You can also add some milk. It is a standard breakfast for many people. Yisheng coffee. Latte. All kinds of cappuccino fancy styles have their shortcomings. Even black tea control. Add a little coffee instead. It also has the added benefit of refreshing antioxidants. Just be careful not to drink too late, so as not to affect sleep. Science-backed nutrition review concludes. High intake of coffee. Significant association with reduced risk of all-cause mortality. In layman's terms, drinking coffee can make your heart healthier. The nervous system is more active. Research estimation. People who drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day, the mortality rate is 10% to 15% lower than that of non-coffee drinkers. In addition, scientists also observe long-term coffee consumption linked to a lower risk of diabetes and stroke. Although coffee is not a fairy drink, but there is ample evidence that he's definitely not selling drinks. Real case. Coffee is not a healthy food in the traditional sense, but interesting data. From some long-lived settlements in Europe, such as parts of Switzerland, high coffee consumption per capita, average life expectancy of local residents. It is also the world's leading level. The German rehabilitation study also found 100-year-old's daily pill. It's a ration of slow-brewed black coffee. He joked that it was the secret to his longevity. In addition, breakfast for residents of California's Orchid District. I often drink a cup of coffee with oatmeal. These indirect cases suggest that coffee may be known for its unique antioxidant properties. Become the mysterious promoter of longevity without realizing it. Core ingredient caffeine. Polyphenolic antioxidants. Vitamin B family and other benefits are refreshing. Speed up metabolism. Antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Helps prevent a variety of chronic diseases. Typically, 2 or 3 cups of high-quality, freshly ground coffee per day. Black coffee or less milk is best. You can drink it in the morning. 1 cup each in the morning. Avoid drinking before bed. You can also choose green matcha or tea instead in moderation. Comprehensive intake of various antioxidants. Summarize details to achieve lifespan. This official list of the top 6 longevity foods summarizes the essence of global health and longevity research. Plant-based foods, such as vegetables and fruits. Zygomatic beans. Nuts with high-quality animal protein, such as fish and moderate stimulant coffee. And combine it with a healthy lifestyle. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and other agencies have frequent visitors to healthy eating guidelines. Through dramatic storytelling, what we see is unmistakable scientific fact. Eat the right food. Every day is quietly extending life. Imagine zooming out. In Loma Linda's vegetable garden, the old white-haired professor picks tomatoes by hand. By the Mediterranean Sea, an elderly couple in the sun enjoy grilled fish and olive oil salad. In the morning in the city, a white-collar worker leisurely pokes a cappuccino by the desk with a bowl of oatmeal and a few almonds. Although these scenes are every day, but it holds the secret to longevity. Small daily food choices. It's the life speed regulator we can get our hands on. Next time I walk into supermarkets and restaurants, don't forget that science has given clear hints. Let's arm our plates with these longevity foods. Celebrate your future self. Reference: National Institutes of Health. Numbers and studies related to top nutrition journals. This confirms the above conclusion. Adjust your diet. Start today. For your healthy future, maybe a big plus.